Hello, this is Everything Entertainment, and this is my Disventure Camp Season 5, Episode 5 review. And this is the worst episode of the Disventure Camp this season. And that just me being salty because, objectively speaking, this is a good episode. I don't hate the elimination only because it happened to one of my favorite characters, but otherwise, I don't regret this episode because I don't hate this episode because this episode was good as a whole and might be the best one of the season. Putting my feelings aside, I'll go through what I like, dislike, the good parts, the bad parts, and what the episode could improve, and what I expect from the next episode. First, I would like to talk about the challenge in this episode, and the challenge is the best one so far of this season. They have good interactions, and the physical aspect of the challenge is the best since everybody is being used as in parts and everybody being relied upon. I do like how I don't know if this happened in the real survivor, but I do like the concept of carrying one teammate over the other. This may be based off actual what happened in the actual survivor episode. But for me, this challenge was good. And the fact that it took place water gave it a different setting since it allowed them to be more physical and keep people from being hurt. It's the best chance of the episode. I don't have a lot to say about it. It just is the best chance of the episode. Not my personal favorite, it's just I think the paintball episode in episode one is so far still the best overall. I do like the challenge as for team basis. Even though the one gripe I have with this challenge and not even the challenge itself is that they have the setup rule, which it doesn't even make sense to have it now this is I thought it was fine that, even the odds, whatever. The fact that Emily forced it, it almost like in they were like the favorites who just run away with it. And that's crazy sad that they should have had the setup rule. Like either implement the setup rule for this episode or always have it and always have it rotate. Like this setup rule would have been so good if Fiore participated in the last episode and she saw how Anastasia was talking to Alec and then stepping between them and like comforting Alec. But that didn't happen and that just made me upset at this rule. But that's not the challenge for overall, great challenge, and I really do like this challenge, especially how it made Ren look like a beast. Like Ren was unstoppable, and it was just amazing how they were just three jumps. That was beautiful. Now, to talk about what I like on the fan side, since they have less people to talk about, I really like the dynamics of the Moonlight Trio, which a name I just came up with for Duna, Ren, and Noah, only because they're so far the best trio in the game right now. I don't really like the trio on the favorite side, but the fan side, they got a best trio, and I just like how they interact with one another. Finn was hilarious in this episode. Finn was the best. He was just so funny. The way he asked Evie if she had an advantage, and his reply was like, "Oh, she got to have it because she's a great actor." Like that was just gold. I really do like that. And even though, even though I do think Olivia just sabotaging her team in the challenge is bad. I do like that it give her a character. Then I'm a creepy girl that no one want to talk to. She wants validation, and she wants friends, and she want to be in control. And even though that's extremely sad, I do get it, and it just makes her a much more interesting character. And I do like how the fans won this challenge. Yeah, I like that episode two where they just gave them the win because the fans were stupid. And I do think the setup rule is stupid now, especially with this episode highlighting it. I do like how it wasn't just the fans had Rand, which overpowered the conversation with three jumps. So that really helped them win. But also Sam, who's just smart enough to cheat code the game in his team advantage and allowed them to win by just carrying someone else over to the other side, which was a smart move. And something Alec and Fiore or any strategists would have came up with but never implemented because they did think it would be allowed. So yeah, the fans winning this felt satisfying because it really felt like they had they had Ren and then they had this logic and they made her one sooner or later than sabotage themselves in the challenge, which she most likely the next one out should keep doing this. But if they discover Evie has an advantage, then she's probably out. Like out. No, no, it was they discovered she has like she doesn't have the advantage, but if they still think she's have it, then she's definitely out. And also, the fact that even if she didn't have it, Aiden might just eliminate her just because. Unless Ren plays either Leah to get someone like all of Finn out with accuracy, because keeping Olivia in the game and befriending her is a easy extra vote to have, and is better than having immunity because the Disventure Cap have shown that having immunity doesn't always save you, but having the votes does save you. As soon as season 4 of this Disventure Camp. Yeah, there's a lot of flaws in this recap. I do have to admit, I do like how they somewhat got the final three to less immunity and more votes on their side, and how they got the final three because no one really targeted them that much. But anyway, yeah, the fans were great this episode, and I really do like them. And I hope they get better. Well, I hope they get better since they got less people to hog up screen time, unlike the favorites.
Now, to talk about the favorites in this episode, I do like them, but unfortunately, I think the elimination somewhat makes them worse, but I'll get to that part later. As a whole, the favorites in this episode were pretty good too. I do like the Anastasia and I can't think. Anastasia and Natalia. Uh beef is still technically happening because I do agree with Natalia. Sablo, even though I do think it's weird for her to be so aggressive and not get Anastasia on the side of a vote. I do think her reason for not trusting Anastasia makes sense since last season Anastasia pretty much bull drove the entire game. Like she even caused Natalia to be eliminated. Natalia got her get back by basically voting her Anastasia out with four other people in that joy vote. But nonetheless, it kind of makes sense why Natalia is hostile since even though even though Anastasia is doing better, I do agree she didn't grow that much since per prior season. In my opinion, Anastasia just found a way to point her blade at someone else, in this case, Alex. And even though she is nicer and less sexist, she's still kind of the same character she was, except not constantly angry. She fixed her anger problem and is less uh vile and violent. She's more subtle and nice. But I do believe her actions might get her eliminated next episode because her prior season she wasn't exactly the most trustworthy contestant in her last season, which you kind of need to be aggressive to make final three, but like she was too aggressive, which kind of ended her gameplay. But nonetheless, it was good to see that that beef is so strong because I do think their rivalry is a good one. Any rivalry was Spencer the best though, but their rivalry is a good one. Benji and Ali finding the immunity idol. It took me like a whole day to actually know what the immunity idol does. It basically goes to show how I really haven't watched a lot of Survivor, but nonetheless, I do think it is a good use of the idol. Like you basically get an idol, but it only used if someone you know and trusted is eliminated, which depower the idol. Yet honestly, when they had two, I was a little confused. Like, do they have to combine them? But the fact that you needed someone to trust to use the idol makes sense, and also trust for them not to get you eliminated to use the idol. Which it would be funny if Via had this on his season because he would definitely got Rose out just to use the idol. But anyway, it's good that they found advantage in the game, and it's a little. I hope Ali sacrifices herself or gets eliminated so Benji could use the idol for himself. Otherwise, it'll be bad if Benji, who have done a lot this season, get sacrificed himself to keep Ali in the game or gets eliminated so Ali could go far. Because I don't hate Ali; she's been pretty good this season, but also kind of take her. And I do think an early elimination will do favorable for her in this season because she can't go far again and just be as bad as she was in her season. But nonetheless, I'm glad they got the idol because it'll keep things more interesting since they're on the outs. Lake and Rosa didn't really talk that much, so I'm gonna skip them. Lake and Rosa didn't really do much. Tom didn't really do much. No, I mean, nah, Tom did do a lot, but like I save that for the elimination after I talk about the favorites and save it for the elimination. Bruno and Spencer was great this episode two, how they flipped on the queen, which is it's not a bad play for them, but they should really have tried to make sure they get the votes. Because if Alec and Fiore didn't have the still a vote advantage, they maybe had a 4-3 to 3. Oh no, well no. They would have had they would have had Ali and Benji votes, but they didn't know that. From what he knew, they would have had a 5, even with the still vote matches, they would have had a 5-3 to 3, and I'd get eliminated. But yeah, I don't hate the play that Spencer and Benji did. Not Spencer, Spencer and Bruno did. But I do wish they had. I wish the elimination had more screen time where people actually scatter around gameplay. Because the elimination would have been better if everybody was involved, like Rosa, Lake, and Caesar, like everybody was involved. Because this elimination wasn't bad, but it could have been better. And I just really wish that they went over it more thorough because this elimination was almost perfect objectively. Because honestly, I'm still mad of it at it. It took me a while to be unheated. I'm just mad that one of my favorites got eliminated, and I'm just mad that now one of my other favorites is kind of left alone. But I'll start talking about elimination because I'm kind of talking around it at this point. But yeah, the elimination was objectively pretty good, and I don't hate it for for only a few things. They get slightly bad, but that's just my opinion. Now to talk about the elimination, and objectively speaking, and putting my bias aside, this is a good elimination for many reasons. Now to start off, what I like about the elimination, I do like how it finally gave Alec a proper send off since I don't like his season one where he just crashed out over the child, or season three where he is just left alone in the game with no one actually caring he left except for Kana, which was kind of more or less a pity leave on his behalf. Even though this one is sad too, I do like that when you look behind and see everybody that left, you see some of them do feel bad, especially Fiona with her sad, genuinely sad puppy dog eyes seeing Attic leave. Even though even though Spencer and the season have big evil grin, I do like that not everybody sees him as a villain and they do feel some bad for him, like sympathy for him, even though he kind of don't deserve it at some level. It's good to show he's not hated as people think he is. So I do like that. I do also like the tiebreaker challenge. How you have to paint animals or tattoos or pictures or whatever you want to call it. Uh images you see it on the island. And I really do like that as a tiebreaker because it makes the past few episodes finding them and seeing them in the background feel better since we know for a fact Alec kind of the miss look at the paintings and that was his downfall. A good way to give time a one while making it feel plot heavy. Like making it feel like oh he gets to win just because. Instead it was Alec too focuses on the game which made him lose sight of that the game itself and how those paintings can be important and that was a downfall. The fact that he came close was only because VOA helped him with the turtle and the fact that he used knowledge of a bat in the cave. He would have honestly got destroyed if VOA didn't remind him of the turtle or the fact that he is pretty smart. So the fact that he lost like that is a good one. Also, and also, even though he is my favorite character, him being the first official boot makes sense since I really hope that he made it to the merge. I really hope that him and Fury are gonna make it to the final big three and just win it all. But I that was just hopeful thinking at that point. Honestly, him being the first boot is actually a good thing because he was always a pre-merge, so it's better to get it out the way than letting it hurt later on. And I do think they could have done it in many different ways, like him sacrificing himself for Fiore and still him going to the motel. I do like this way because it goes to show that his past is coming back to bite him, even though it is kind of a bad play on Anastasia part. But I'll get to that later. I do like that he chose not to go back in the game, but to the motel to finally fix his family, even though I do have a few gripes with that decision as an audience to this show. But anyway, I do like the elimination objectively speaking because he used a several advantage. He could have avoided elimination. Time was there, but unfortunately, he lost his footing in the game. Like seriously, he really underestimated NDC's hate for him and how that was definitely coming back to bite him and how he could have avoided all this if he played the game better. But the fact that he was too focused on the game left him open to be attacked by other players that he honestly should have expected, but the fact he did it makes him not less not stupid, but makes him unprepared for what was gonna happen in the tiebreaker. It was a combination of his own actions, his too focused on the game because he found at least three of them and could have at least tied with Tom. The fact that he didn't focus on the images in the game left him open to be eliminating the Sanders. And the fact that he took Anderson was the heart, even though she was I don't want to call her I don't want to call her that, but like a pain in this to him. We go that he is a better person than Anastasia expected from him. But anyway, I do like this elimination objectively. As a favorite of mine, I hate it because he's the first dude. Aiden should have been the first dude. I'll get to why I dislike, but objectively, I do like this elimination. And I'm going to start to talk about why I dislike. I have a lot that I don't like about the elimination because it could have been so much better if they did a few things differently. Now, what do I not like about this elimination? Let me get my nitpick out the way. One thing I don't like is how they keep handling Alec and Fiore. I know they're not family, but the fact that he didn't even give her a proper goodbye, it's just sad because the first season they had them break up in the most unnecessary way possible, which is bad, but I just hate how they handled it. In All Stars, they had work together for a bit and then have the most fastest weakest cell ever. Like Jesus Christ, like they didn't even get the chance to actually mend the issue they had. They just all were cool now by the end. And right now, he couldn't even say goodbye to her. Fiore couldn't say goodbye to him. It was heartbreaking because Attic was the only one that actually respected Fiore on his team. Fiore was almost the first, well, not almost the first, but she would have been traded or switched to the fan side, but she was almost the first boot just because she's a kid, and just statistically reasons, either beating the tiebreaker. So yeah, it's frustrating that they're the best duo in the show, and they just getting disrespected. Another nitpick I have is Anastasia flipping because she talked about she wanna play better, but she's just the same except nicer. She's less sexist, less angry, less violent, less vocal. That's all good. But the fact that she picking on Alec, like she's finding an excuse to uh be herself, and it's just unnecessary. Like I really hate her smug smile. That like I get it. Alec's not the best guy, but he's not the worst either. And like you work with him on the first elimination just to be spiteful. I really hope she get eliminated only because of that. So yeah, I really don't like anesthesia. Like she is probably the best winner on the favorite side, but that's kind of a low bar, so she wasn't really that good after the merge in her season. So just her being nice is just a low bar. Now to get to the serious part, why I don't I like the elimination objectively, but I don't like the execution. It's because of how the strategy went. If you look at the votes, it's 5-5-2. But they could have fixed this if Fiore and Alex to talk to Benji and Ali and get them to either side with them or at least split the vote. Like have Benji vote at Fiore, because even though it would have still been as for Rome Fiore, it would have been a 5-4-4 situation. Even if in Italia, even if Anesthesia still flipped, it would have been a 5-4-4 situation. And I do believe season one Attica Fiore would have at least went up to them and say, "Hey, we gotta send a vote event. It's pick our side." Then we could have Alex Fiore, Bruno Spencer, Ali, and Benji be the majority and just be that team until the merge. Because I honestly believe that's something they could have done this season. At least that's what I'm thinking. How I would have been if I was like in Fiore in this situation. Then honestly believing that using a steal vote advantage, right? You have to use in front of people. Like you have to go up there and say, "I'm going to steal your vote," and then use that in front of people, and not expect anyone else to flip. Is a crazy thing not to expect. So yeah, a little bit Alec will lose their touch because this was shown how he tried to create allies with Tom and Anastasia, which was so stupid of him. Like season one, Alec would not have been that dumb to think he could not manipulate but ally with Tom, someone he knows that hates him, and Anastasia that hated him from the start. So yeah, Alec kind of had to go, but I still don't like it. Objectively, it could be either one. It's bad strategy, is what I'm trying to say. So I don't like that. Also, another pick, I hate that he got first boot. Don't get me wrong, I do like it objectively, but the fact that I like Aiden this season, but Aiden should not outlast Alec in any season. So yeah, that's another nitpick, but like that's not on this episode or elimination. That's just my bias. So yeah, I hate the strategy because honestly, Ada could have stayed if he just talked to Benji and Ali. But it is on him for losing his touch. I do have to admit he is losing his touch. So yeah. Let's see what else I don't like. Now that I think about it, hold on. Strategy was the biggest reason, and my nitpicks were also the reason. I guess if I had to say what I also don't like is okay, and then the pick Emily roasted him. Like Emily really didn't hold back. Fourth place the first boot. Like Emily did not hold back roasting this man. It was brutal. And let's say brutal. And that's about it. Well, another nitpick side. Another nitpick is fact that Tom beat him, which narratively speaking is good since he outlasted him twice. But like, come on, I don't want Tom beating my favorite. He had his spinoff. Like, bro, he's not gonna win. I don't think Tom is gonna win. Man, I'm just so mad. That's another nitpick. But anyway, the biggest nitpick is not nitpick. The biggest problem with the strategy. Like if I had a still a vote advantage and I had a know the vote, even if I got a guarantee elimination, I would still go up to the string votes. In this case, Ali and Benji, and be like, "Hey, I got still a vote advantage. Let's pull a lines, yada yada, all that." And I do think Alec getting eliminated does make sense only because he is losing his touch. I have to admit, he is losing his touch. I get he not a social plan, but come on, Alex, you could do better than that. Like you brought the villain alive. You were able to do that in all sorts. You had some level of social skill, but yeah, he didn't do that, and because of that, I can't be satisfied with this elimination because honestly, it has made me hate Anastasia. Even though I still think she's the best written favorite of the season, it just made me hate her so much for just being so personal with Alec and getting him eliminated. Now, to end this video off with my next prediction, I do believe that Anastasia or Olivia is going to be the next one out. Only because of two reasons, one for each. Anastasia is still playing her same gameplay as last season of being aggressive, even though she thinks she changed, what she has, she still is being personal in her votes, which could lead to her being outvoted by Bruno, Spencer, Fiore, Natalia Flippin, and Ali and Benji. 6-5. Yeah, I don't believe Fiore is gonna get eliminated next episode. And if the fans gonna get eliminated, it's gonna be Olivia only because she is sabotaging the challenge, giving Evie a easy out. The only way I can see Evie staying getting eliminated is if Alec is revealed to have used his stellar role advantage or and plays Idolina in the upcoming episode to save Olivia. Otherwise, I don't really see Olivia being safe because she is starting to throw challenges, and at that point, she will be an easy vote to the point she's not really needed in the vote anymore. Like she could be used as an extra vote, but she can be easily replaced because I'm pretty sure the team have the majority, as in Sam, Finn, Aura, and Aiden with Evie. They got the majority. So either way, Olivia, I don't think she's needed as an extra vote. So Olivia keep sabotaging challenges. She's gonna be the next one out. Overall, I give this episode a solid 8 out of 10. Objectively speaking, it is the best episode of Disventure Camp Season 5 fans versus favorites, even though I'm still quite upset that Alec got eliminated so soon. But I do hope he finally get his act together and get his family together because even though a lot of people in universe hate him and kind of out of universe, he is one of my favorite characters. And seeing Fiore and him sad just generally I don't like that. So I really do hope he get his act together and he get his family situation fixed. Otherwise, otherwise it'll be pointless to get him eliminated. If he ever returns, it'll be pointless that he left this early for no reason. And I hope Fiore get a good story out and a good ending with Alec. Because knowing that Alec is going back to his family and staying with his family, like taking his family simply only leave Fiore by herself in a kind of sad way, honestly. But I hope they both get a happy ending by the end of their arcs in the Disventure Camp. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a good day.